Weakness. I understand pain. I understand death. I understand suffering. And because of these people, I'm starting to understand peace. You can't take that away from me.
Good evening, folks. Make sure I got all of the bugs out. I'm a little tired. Been working all day. All right, let's get into it. As I said on my social media pages, I think a better way to watch the show, since we're always censored on fascist book over there, is like sometimes you don't even. Some of the things that I'm talking about are being censored. Like the last episode I did, we had a bit of that, and couldn't figure it out. Restarted, and that's what it was. They were censoring me. So I put on my social media. Check me out on, and that goes for the whole channel. That goes for Clay. That goes for anyone on this channel, Guns in the 701. Just go over to the Guns in the 701 page, and you can watch it. And you can also watch on Rumble and Twitter, X. So Rumble and X and YouTube and just get the whole content, the full content. I know some folks, may not be familiar with those platforms, but give those platforms a try. Guaranteed, it's a better experience. Anyway, I am Leon Francis, your host of BlackBeardLogic on the Guns in the 701 network, and this is a fabulous Friday, even though it does feel a bit muggy now. Like if you look outside the window there, it's a little bit misty, but it's all right. I love it. I love the state of North Dakota. I love being out in the middle of nowhere, which is, to tell you the truth, here lately, it's just, there's no place I'd rather be. There's just no place I'd rather be. We can talk about that later on, but right now I want to break down the show tonight. Tonight we're going to just kind of break down the biggest stories that shaped up this week. We had a slew of major Supreme Court victories. We had a stunning guilty plea from a Trump, never Trump, critic. A story that I still talk about today, because in a day and age where we don't have a lot of men kind of standing in the breach and doing a thing, even if their business takes a hit, or if they're dragged in front of court, just doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do. We don't see a lot of that. So I wanted to bring this story back. It's a year old now, a year old this month. But I wanted to talk about this doctor who stood firm against mandates. And I also want to talk about a sharp warning from me on what I see as a new GOP strategy. We're obviously going to talk about that feel-good, and this is going to be my feel-good Friday portion of this. I'm going to wrap the show up with this. That preacher from my home state of Louisiana. We're going to talk about that. So the way the show is going to break down, the first thing we're going to talk about is the Supreme Court delivering those key decisions this week, including a major 6-3 ruling in Mullen versus Doe, and that clears the path for Trump's administration to end TPS for Haiti and Syria. So go back to your garbage countries and make America great, in my humble opinion. The court sharply limited judicial interference with DHS immigration decisions and rejected equal protection challenges. So we're going to break that down. We're going to break down what this means for border security. for mass deportation, executive authority, and the balance of power between the branches. Second story is going to be John Bolton pled guilty, former National Security Advisor and vocal Trump critic, and I got some doozies. I got some video you guys are gonna really like. But he pleaded guilty today in federal court in Maryland to unlawfully retaining national defense information, and he resolved an 18-count case with a $2.25 million fine. Pension for forged. His pension is gone, and he might even face up to 5 years in prison. Bolton told the judge that he was sorry for it. But if you remember this guy, and I have the video for it, this guy was all over the place, talking about this should end Trump's political career. He should go to jail, yada, yada, yada. We're going to discuss the irony in that and what it reveals about accountability at the highest levels. And then we're going to talk about, and this is my personal favorite of the day, Dr. Kirk Moore, the doctor who said no. So the charges were dropped against this Oregon physician. His name was Dr. Kirk Moore. He was known as the doctor who said no. He had been prosecuted for giving saline instead of COVID-19 vaccines and issuing exemption cards. So the tyrannical state said that these people, in order for them to function in society, they have to get the COVID jab. And so what he did was he stood in the breach and he said, and he talked to the families, I'm going to inject you with this saline solution. I'm going to destroy the COVID vaccine that they gave me, and I'm going to write out a vaccine card. So I celebrate his stand for medical freedom, for patient autonomy, and what this dismissal means for doctors who resisted the coercive mandate. Like, I remember folks like Scott Hannon having doctors from Stanford on, like, extolling the virtues of the COVID jab. And it was all BS. This doctor said there's no way the patients could give informed consent because everything was murky, everything was garbage, and he didn't feel comfortable, jabbing people. We need people like this doctor. We're going to talk about it. I'm also going to talk about something that has been weighing on me for quite some time here. The GOP, in my humble opinion, the Republicans, are playing this dangerous game called electability. And it is their obsession with nominating focus group deemed electable moderates over principled conservatives. I believe it's a losing strategy, and the people that lose are us. I'm going to try to break down and examine how chasing this mythical swing voter alienates the base, weakens the message, and hands wins to the Democrats. And I'm going to draw parallels because the Democrats have been doing a same and similar strategy for some time. We're going to talk about that. And then obviously the Feel Good Friday, real men still exist, and this one just protected his flock. We're going to close the show on a high note with a powerful story of a traditional masculine man in action. A man stepped up, protected his flock, whether family, community, or literal livestock, when it mattered the most. It's proof that courage, responsibility, and the willingness to defend what's yours is still alive here in America. This guy, and I love it that he's from Louisiana. I love it. But we're going to break that down. I'm going to show you the video. And actually, I saw him earlier. I couldn't pull this new video, but he was on Alex Jones, and he kind of gave his story exclusively to Alex Jones. But we're gonna break down as much as we can on this show today. I am Leon Francis. This is BlackBeardLogic. We're gonna be back after this break, and we're gonna just kind of break down all of those Supreme Court wins that we had today. So sit back, relax. I'll be back right after this break.
I am Leon Francis, host of BlackBeardLogic on the Guns and the 701 Network. Let's get it.
Did you ever wonder why people run for public office? I didn't plan on running for Congress, but I got tired of watching politicians go to Washington promising North Dakotans the world and delivering leftovers. I'm Alex Balaz, and I'm running to be your U.S. House Representative.
LAUER Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at LAUER Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with LAUER, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake.
Make no mistake.
LAUER Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at LAUER Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's LAUER Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Come on, now.
Okay, let's go.
I am Leon Francis of BlackBeardLogic on the Guns and the 701 Network. Let's get it.
So welcome back, Leon Francis, BlackBeardLogic, Guns and the 701 Network. First up to bat, the Supreme Court finally did something right. So this week, the Supreme Court handed down a couple of rulings that actually make sense, and the left is losing their ever-loving mind. I'm going to break it down point by point. We're going to start off with the rule of law and actual borders. Look at this. Big win for the rule of law and actual borders. The court just told the open borders machine that their activist judges need to sit down. Restrictive asylum policies and metering at the border are back on the table where they belong, because pretending every claim is a legitimate claim was never sustainable or moral, and I would add legal. So, in other words, they said you can't just show up, claim asylum, walk right in like it's an all-you-can-eat buffet. This isn't even controversial. This is basic sovereignty. A country that does not control who enters is not a country anymore. The open borders crowd has spent years pretending that every single person showing up at the southern border is a helpless victim fleeing certain death. We all knew that was garbage. And the Supreme Court just said, enough with that fantasy. We can have compassion without committing national suicide. And I, for one, applaud that. Because we know under the Biden administration, everybody and their mama was coming to the border. I mean, we saw the caravans. And their entire scheme was to get those people into this country as quick as possible and then distribute them around. You remember that? I mean, it was crazy. And again, one of the reasons why folks like me are so jaded is because we saw these things happening and we did not, I didn't see Republican pushback. I mean, there was a point where they showed, like, I don't know, 100,000 Haitians and what's the folks from like Sierra Leone and underneath the bridge. And what the Biden administration did was they restricted, like you couldn't fly a drone, you couldn't fly a news helicopter, you couldn't fly anything over that area because they were trying to hide it. And I remember a Fox News reporter flew a drone over there anyway. and he probably got in trouble, and the world got to see, what was actually going on at the border. The Biden administration also cut the barbed wire, fought with Texas when they tried to implement some type of border situation down there. They fought with them in the courts, lawfare. They tried to get as many people in here as humanly possible, as quickly and as quietly. They had black flights flying all over this country at one point. Do you guys remember that? Like, it was crazy times a million. Another story, TPS carve-outs getting the scrutiny they deserve. So these temporary protected status was always supposed to be temporary. And Democrats are all wee-weed up right now. But the court is signaling that it won't be used as a backdoor for amnesty anymore. It's a gut punch to the abolish ICE crowd and the import voters crowd. Common sense is finally sitting down at the table again. So again, this program was never meant to be a permanent backdoor for millions of people who stay. Well, actually, I think it was, but legally, it's not supposed to be used as a backdoor for millions of people to stay here indefinitely. It's supposed to be temporary. Temporary. Shocking, I know. But then the left turned it into another tool for demographic replacement and cheap labor. And that's what they did. That's exactly what they did. The court is saying this can't go on forever. It's long overdue. America is not the world's emergency shelter with unlimited capacity, and I, for one, I applaud them for that. Like, it's crazy. Here's one that I found particularly interesting, and this is a good one here. Here we go. This might be the most important one. Like, parents just scored a massive victory on the culture war front. In cases like Mahmoud versus Taylor, the court affirmed that religious moms and dads have the right to opt their kids out of radical LGBTQ, whatever, indoctrination in public school. State doesn't own your children. I've said this 100 million times. This is a direct rebuke to the gender ideology cult that has captured our classrooms. Like, you have a constitutional right to pull your kid out of public school indoctrination sessions on gender ideology and radical sexual content. And this ruling, like this one, like, it makes it clear. The state doesn't own your kids. You, the parent, does. And schools cannot force your son to sit through lessons telling him he might actually be a girl. Or to force your daughter to share bathrooms and locker rooms with boys who identify as girls. Like, religious parents, especially, don't have to surrender their kids to this cult. It's a massive victory for parental rights. And it's a direct slap in the face to the transgender activists who have been treating public schools like their personal recruitment centers. And it says something. When you look at this mind virus that we've been living through for the past, 4 years? Probably closer to 10 years. That's what they're going into these schools and they're screwing with these kids' brains. Luckily, a lot of parents woke up during COVID and they saw what was going on and they pulled their kids. Like, a lot of the homeschooling community has blossomed, and that's even in the African American community. And folks that saw what was going on in these classrooms, and they were like, what the heck is this? So this court ruling affirms that. I think it's a very good one. And of course, these rulings are not like extreme right wing. They're common sense. Even though the left is just all wee-weed up today, The real extremism was like the last decade of catch and release at the border, secret gender transitions behind parents' back, and treating the Constitution like it's a suggestion rather than the supreme law of the land. And of course, the usual suspects are already screaming about theocracy and cruelty, and the same people that cheered when schools hid social transitions from moms and dads. They're clutching their pearls now because parents are being given a voice again. I mean, spare me. This is not a theocracy like they're claiming. It's the free exercise clause actually meaning something for once. That's what it is. Religious liberty isn't a dead letter just because it offends progressive sensibilities. And the bottom line is this: the Supreme Court didn't save America today, but they slowed down the destruction. Here's another one. Here. The free exercise. Our 63 is in a landslide, but is the majority telling the cultural left you can't force feed your dogma while hiding behind it. Diversity while hiding behind diversity, and then cry foul when the parents push back. Religious liberty isn't optional. Here is the one I was looking for, I believe. If I got my slides right here. Nope, I do not. Jimmy, this is the one. Huge. This one is huge. So, we are the Guns of the 701 Network. So, there you go. So, this one here is massive. It's massive. 6-3 ruling. The court struck down Hawaii's ridiculous law that required businesses to give explicit permission before lawful concealed carry permit holders could enter with their firearms. Like, this is crazy. Justice Alito rightly called it what it was: a blatant violation of constitutional rights to keep and bear arms. No more turning law-abiding citizens into criminals for stopping at a gas station or a grocery store or a pharmacy. This is what shall not be infringed actually looks like. So I was happy about this. I mean, with me anyway. Yeah, the National Chamber of Commerce. Yeah, you're right, and I've often spoken about that. Good evening, Leon from the Western Sioux Country. Oh, hey, what's going on? Anyway, the Chamber of Commerce, like, some folks have this misguided idea in their head that the Bush Republicans, the Bush League Republicans, like, I see all these guys as a uniparty. If you don't believe, and again, I heard congressmen, well, no, these are congresswomen, talking about their family's business when ICE was in town, and how their family business didn't have any employees when ICE was in town, and these are Republicans. And I'm like, well, that says a lot. That means you're hiring illegals, and you're a Republican. So when I tell you I spoke on the books, okay, I don't know what that means. TBKS, I spoke on TBKS, okay. So when I tell you that the Chamber of Commerce is in the league, they want that cheap labor also. Oh, hi. Okay, you talked about this ruling this morning on K-Fire. Okay, I know who this is. It's Clay. Yeah, I heard that. I just wanted to, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. Shall not be infringed means exactly that. And I know that Democrats are going to, because of this, slate of rulings that came down, they're going to scream theocracy and gun nut extremism and xenophobia and cruelty because that's what they've been getting away with this whole time. It's about time that the Constitution starts winning again, and we actually start thinking about, like I think about those 3 crazy liberal women that are on the Supreme Court and how long they're going to be there. And it gives me pause. Again, one of the reasons I love living way out in the middle of nowhere is because all their stupid rules, like, you know, firearms and kids and pushing the trans and the LGBTQIA plus ampersand, none of that is going to affect me or my kids. But if we want to save this country, we got to have common sense. Like, it's not, the Supreme Court isn't suddenly conservative, but rulings like this show that the long march through the judiciary can be slowed and even reversed on key fronts. The Second Amendment isn't a fringe right, in my humble opinion. The Second Amendment is a primary right. And we need that to become the new normal. We cannot allow these people to take Democrats acting badly, and that's what it is. That's what it is. If you are looking at this whole pie of gun violence, you know, on a global scale, and you took out all the Democrat-run cities, and I know Thomas is going to get in there and go, well, what about the red states? They have the high. No, we're talking about Democrat-controlled blue cities. That's where all the gun violence comes from. And it's all Democrats. It's all their constituency. And anytime their constituency does something bad with firearms, the first thing they do is run to and try to curtail or erode the primary rights of all the law-abiding citizens. That cannot be the precedent. It can't be the precedent. And like Clay just said, this ruling is going to set a huge precedent in the other direction. The bottom line is these decisions are not radical. Radical was the previous era of catch and release chaos, lawfare against parents, state-sponsored gender confusion, and treating the Second Amendment like a second-class right. That was radical. The Supreme Court just reminded everyone that America still has a Constitution, and some justices are finally willing to read it as it was written. Now, we got to stay vigilant. This fight is not over, but these are the kind of wins that matter when you're trying to save the country one institution at a time. Like sometimes, like in Minnesota, for example, or New York, Hawaii for sure. You look at some of the laws that they have there, especially when it pertains to the Second Amendment, and you wonder how it passes like constitutional muster, and how is it allowed? Again, back during the previous administration, and even during Trump's administration, when they were like all that lawfare, this Steve Deace saying kept coming to my mind. We're not a nation of laws. We're a nation of political will. And if that's the case, we don't have a nation. And I believe he's correct, because the Biden administration proved that. We have laws in the books, and again, I'm an originalist. I did a whole show on being an originalist. You crack open that Constitution back there, you read the plain language, and that's what goes right there. There's no interpretation needed. No, why do you need a assault weapon to hunt deer? Because it wasn't pertaining to hunting deer, you know? Like, it's not in there because it's not in there. And with these rulings, I think that we're coming to a little bit of common sense once again. And I apologize. I played that first commercial, and I saw that it had a old, like it had the Alex Balazs clip in there. So I need to get in there and, you know, make sure that all of my commercials are up to date. It probably won't be on this show, but it's coming. I'll clean it up tonight. I'm going to go to another commercial break, and on the other side of this break, we're going to, I think I want to talk about John Bolton a little bit. How about that? How you feel about that? This guy, man, his mustache used to piss me off. His phony Republicanism used to piss me off. His never Trumper attitude, him all over the left-wing media talking about Trump. But karma is it's a mother. I'll just say that. Karma is a mother. And we're going to see how big a mother it is right after this break.
Okay, let's go.
I am Leon Francis of BlackBeardLogic on the Guns and the 701 Network. Let's get it.
Anvil Brand LLC, raising and training tomorrow's barrel horses right out of Bismarck, North Dakota. Tracy and her family are great American patriots who not only support the Second Amendment, but they also promoted what you're looking for, top quality barrel horses. Go ahead and give Tracy a call at 701-471-6629 and tell them Guns and 701.com sent you. That's Anvil Brand LLC out of Bismarck, North Dakota.
At Horton Laser Craft, we believe in the power of personalization. Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert craftsmen and state-of-the-art technology ensure every piece is a work of art. From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton Lasercraft makes every moment unforgettable. Visit HortonLasercraft.com today and start crafting your perfect gift. For more info, email them at HortonLasercraft@yahoo.com or call them up at 605-545-7535. Horton Lasercraft, where memories are engraved.
T-shirts tucked in, know my worth, can't tell me nothing. White Nikes, albino, pink cop my stilo, head to the top, bottom line is a motto.
Welcome back. It's Leon Francis with BlackBeardLogic on the Guns and the 701 Network. Let's get it.
Let's get it indeed. So, one of the stories that I saw today that I gotta say it was karmic. Before we get into that story, if you missed the first minute of the show and you missed my social media post, the best way to watch the show is not on Fascist Book. They censor after every show, I'm on pins and needles to see what they censored out of my show on Facebook, and sometimes even live as I am streaming, I have to wonder about that. So go to the Guns in the 701 homepage. Go to the actual web page, and you can watch. You can watch. As a matter of fact, I would encourage you to any of your friends or family or anyone that you want to introduce the Guns in the 701 network to, have them go to that page. Also, you can go to X, Rumble. You can go to YouTube. What does Clay call it? CommieTube. Yeah, you can Fascist Book and CommieTube. You can check us out there. But that web page is where we want to drive folks to. They have you have merch there. I'm going to talk to Clay about getting some merch on that, some BlackBeardLogic merch up there, and see how that goes. And yeah, it's a much better experience. It's better for you guys. It's better for us. There's no censorship. You get it straight from the horse's mouth when you go to that page. I put it on my social media. I really want to get away from Facebook. I'm sick of it. I've had 1 million interactions this year, and my reach is shadow banned. Some post I'll post, and I can see the actual algorithm not working against me. But then there's some things that I post, and it's crickets. It's an impossibility for the metrics to work that way. It's an impossibility. So go to the web page, Guns in the 701. Check us out there. Go to the Rumble page. Check us out there. You can go to either BlackBeardLogic or Guns in the 701 on Twitter, on Rumble, on YouTube. I want to try to get away from Facebook. I like to talk. I don't like to be censored. And it's because I'm a red-blooded American. See that flag flying up there, that sort of thing. Anyway, today marks another chapter in the long saga of accountability in Washington. So, in a federal courtroom in Greenbelt, Maryland, John Bolton, former National Security Advisor to President Donald Trump, the man with the trademark mustache and the hawkish foreign policy views, he actually stood before a judge and then pled guilty. I want you guys, and John Bolton, he's a neocon. He's a warmonger. That's what this dude is. And he's one of the guys that stabbed Trump in the back and twisted the knife, in my humble opinion. But I want to show you what kind of day he had today. And I call this segment FAFO. And here we go.
Read the indictment, which I don't think many people have done. It's really a masterful piece of work in my view. It is devastating, and it really should be the end of Trump's political career, let alone the beginning of his jail time. Ultimately, I think people will see this behavior by Trump was a serious threat to national security. Then he has committed very serious crimes. This is a devastating indictment. I speak here as an alumnus of the Justice Department myself, because not only is it powerful, it's very narrowly tailored. They didn't throw everything up against the wall to see what would stick. This really is a rifle shot, and I think it should be the end of Donald Trump's political career.
This morning, just moments ago, John Robert Bolton II pled guilty in federal court to the unlawful retention of national defense information. As National Security Advisor to the President of the United States, Mr. Bolton knew how to handle classified information, where it should be stored, how it should be stored, and with whom he could share that information. Nevertheless, as Mr. Bolton just admitted, he put our national security at grave risk in violation of the law. And the national defense information at issue in this case was classified at the highest classification levels.
So, as you can see there, U.S. Attorney Kelly, here, I'm going to put it back. Let's see if it'll let me do this. Yep, there we go. So that's U.S. Attorney Kelly O. Hayes. She stepped up in front of the microphone today and laid out clearly Mr. Bolton faces a maximum sentence of up to 5 years in prison. I don't think he's going to get that. He will also pay a fine of $2.25 million. And I think this is a pretty big deal, he will forfeit his pension. Now, this isn't some minor paperwork slip-up. Bolton was originally hit with 18 counts back in October of last year. 8 for transmission of national defense information and 10 for retention. The prosecutors said he kept highly sensitive material in personal diaries, notes that later helped him write his best-selling memoir, blasting the very administration he once served, twisting that knife into Trump's back. Some of that information allegedly made its way through personal email and messaging apps. Think about that. We're talking intelligence on a potential foreign attack. We're talking intelligence on covert operations. The kind of secrets that, if mishandled, put lives and national security at risk. And for years, Bolton kind of positioned himself as the ultimate insider critic. The guy who went on cable news, who wrote books, who warned everyone who would listen about the dangers that he saw. And of course, the left cheered him on as a principled voice against Trump. Folks like me saw him as a man cashing in on his time in the inner circle, while he conveniently forgot the rules that bind everyone else who touches classified material. And like, stories like this just blow my mind. Like, you think about the little people, like the me and the yous. And I talk to my wife about this routinely. Like, we dot every I, we cross every T. These folks blatantly. I remember that I think he was a Navy guy, and he took a selfie and sent it to his girlfriend. And he ended up going to the brig. I think they wanted to give him like 7 years or something like that. But then you think about Hillary Clinton, who had a server, an illegal server. And when she was subpoenaed for that server and for all of the like the laptops and the iPhones and the BlackBerries and all of that, she destroyed them with hammers and bleach bit. I mean, it showed a blatant two-tiered justice system. Like, the fact that Hillary Clinton got away with that just it still blows my mind. So, picture what would happen. Say if I don't know, I'm just going to pick on Clay. So, what would happen if the federal government had a case against Clay and told Clay, hey, we know that you have a server and you have these devices. We need to retain those devices, and we subpoenaed them. You have to bring those in. And then Clay went out and he smashed those things. What would happen to Clay? Like it blows my mind. And so Bolton, after being hit with the indictment, he begged and he pleaded for I don't know, months. And he took this plea deal for one felony count, a massive fine, and the loss of that comfortable federal pension, and the very real possibility of prison time. Now, I'm just doubtful. I'm pessimistic, so I don't think. Well, his sentencing is set within the next few months, so we'll see. A judge will have to have the final say, but the maximum for that one felony count is 5 years behind bars. Now, one of the things that you should know is some of those communications were hacked by Iran. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons why this is such a big deal is because of that. Like, these people aren't smart. They think they are, but they're not very bright. And they're used to getting away with doing whatever they want, however they want, as long as they want. And then justice just kind of caught up. May the gallows swing 100%. I mean, think about the irony here. The man who once advocated tough measures on others. Now, here, I'm going to rewind this a bit. Listen at this guy.
Have done. It's really a masterful piece of work, in my view. It is devastating, and it really should be the end of Trump's political career, let alone the beginning of his jail time. Ultimately, I think people will see this behavior by Trump was a serious threat to national security. And he has committed very serious crimes. This is a devastating indictment. I speak here as an alumnus of the Justice Department myself, because not only is it powerful, it's very narrowly tailored.
What a load of crock. Listen at his snooty, snide, better than you type. And of course, he's on CNN, Now he finds himself on the receiving end of the justice system that he helped to shape. So no matter where you stand politically, this should give every current and former official pause. Classified information isn't a souvenir for memoirs or Sunday show talking points. And these guys love that. They love going on these liberal networks and just blabbing. It belongs to us, to be quite honest. And it's protected for a reason. And as you heard her say, the information that this guy was just slinging about had the highest classification. The highest. So I think that John Bolton's chapter as the untouchable Washington insider may be closing. The question now is, is this the start of real accountability across the board? Or just, one high-profile exception? So, for all those folks out there who spent years saying rules are for thee, but not for me, well, today the rules showed up. John Bolton, FO'd, and it couldn't have happened to a nicer or more deserving individual. Now, I want to talk about this story. And this is a year ago today this happened. And I know you guys know that I'm not a big Pam Bondi fan. Never have been. But this is one of the things that she got right. And I knew about it, but I guess it didn't really register immediately. But here, give me a second. This is Dr. Kirk Moore here. This was a year ago this month. And I want you to picture this. A quiet medical office in Utah, 2021. The world is gripped by fear and by mandates. And then you got this guy. This guy, he's standing alone. Well, he's not actually standing alone because there were other people that were, very vocal about the mandates, about the COVID vaccine. They were all muted, all censored. If you said vaccine or COVID or anything like that on any social media, you were automatically shadow banned. That happened to me. But while the world was gripped by that nonsense, Dr. Michael Moore behaved the way I believe patriots should behave. So instead of injecting that experimental BS into frightened patients like my mom, Dr. Moore did something radical. He gave them saline solution. He looked parents in the eye and respected their choice. He issued cards that said vaccinated. But the only thing entering those kids' arms was harmless salt water. He destroyed over $28,000 worth of government vaccines rather than force them on people who didn't want them. And so naturally, the Biden administration called it fraud. They called it conspiracy. The federal government came after this dude with everything that they had. But last July, Pam Bondi dropped all the charges. Why? Because in the end, even the system had to admit, giving people a real choice is not a crime. Dr. Moore never hid what he believed. He said it plainly. Patients have the right to informed consent, period. He refused to become an agent of coercion in one of the most pressured medical chapters in modern history. And it's like I said, I had to sit and listen to even local conservative radio pundits talk up the COVID vaccine. Have doctors from Sanford on extolling the virtues of this vaccine. Luckily, I never fell for any of that garbage because I'm not an idiot. And if you have to force people to take something, I'm already apprehensive. I'm that guy that goes, wait, I have to take this? That's a hard no. Not to mention, if you censor all dissenting voices, that's a problem to me. That's an automatic red flag to a guy like me. Today, thousands of people, yeah, it was crimes against humanity. Fauci needs, dude, don't get me started on that. I want to be the designated chair kicker. I'm just going to put it that way. Let me be either the chair kicker or the horse slapper if he's sitting on a saddle as he's taking that final ride. Let me be the yeehaw. Let's go. There's so, dude, the last 10 years, like, if you don't think that our government can go full on tyrant, the last 10 years you've been sleeping. You've been sleeping. And if you believe that the Republicans are going to come riding to your defense, you're a damn fool. I'm just going to put that, my next segment, I'm going to put all that to bed. They don't even like us, dude. The Republicans. They don't even like us. Yeah, I know. His vaccines went worldwide. And again, I've talked about this before. This dude created COVID. He did. It wasn't China. I know they pushed that BS propaganda on us. And again, I'll say this for the 1,000th time. There was a Chinese general when this thing first ramped up, and everybody was pointing at China. And this dude said, wait a minute, it wasn't us, it was the Americans. They murdered that dude. They murdered that general. I defy you to find that guy now or find any mention of him. I tell my wife this. I watched that dude online. I watched him talk for, I don't know, 20 minutes almost. And it has been deep six. That interview, you'll never find it. I saw it. My wife and I watched it. You'll never find it. And that's a scary thing. My wife says she thinks that he had COVID. I do remember that. So he was now. So my wife just brought a really good point up. Maybe I should have her on the podcast once or twice. She said the guy, and I do remember this. The guy was sweaty. He obviously had COVID. He was coughing like he. So yeah, But you'll never hear that. Like we were always told that China bad. Those guys eat bats and penguin soup and all of that garbage, and that's what. No, we created this. I don't know how plainly I can say that we created the COVID virus. We did. Yeah, do you remember the Japanese prime minister that was unalive due to refusing to force? Yep, I do. I do. A lot of people died behind this thing. A lot of people. Dr. Fauci, the NIH, the WHO, all of those guys, all of them. And it one of the things again, people were like all pissed off at Massey and all pissed off at Rand Paul. But you cannot deny their tenacity on this subject. You cannot deny what other Republican is standing there trying to hold Fauci accountable for his actions? None of them. None of them. And this thing makes Epstein's Island look like Legoland. This dude murdered millions of people globally. Millions. And the vaccine is murdering more. Blood clots and died suddenlies and all-cause mortalities and all of the things that are evil, that are going on, and nobody is held. Don't get me started. They're gonna kick me off YouTube. Don't get me started on it. Anyway, Dr. Moore, I call him Dr. No. He risked his career. He risked his freedom, his reputation, so that ordinary people could still say no in a time where obedience was demanded. This guy chose conscience. So here's the question. If doing no harm and honoring bodily autonomy makes you a criminal, then maybe the real crime was never his. Maybe the real crime was what they tried to do to all of us. And I think we should really focus in on that. the grandmas and grandpas that died without getting a final hug or face-to-face with their loved ones. Nobody is going to pay for that. The blood clots. Nobody. What are we doing? What are we doing? My hope is that history remembers that time. But I don't know. To me, we are a way too forgiving people. Yeah, same with me. Like, doctors knew, like, when Eli used to get, what did he used to get, Nick? Like, all the time, like, every year he'd get this thing. What was it? Some kids get, it's almost like pneumonia. And they just stopped. Like, they see me bringing them in, they're just like, okay. They didn't even ask. Like, and at that time, they were asking, how many guns you got in your house? Screw you. How many, is he up to date on his vaccine? Screw you. Yeah, my wife just let me know that they don't ask that question anymore. But back when they did, they knew. When they saw this beard here, they weren't getting nothing. Hey, all I need is the albuterol. That's it. I need you to get out your pad, write out the little thing, and we know what's wrong with him. You know what's wrong with him. Give me the albuterol, and we'll be on our merry way. I don't have time for all the stupid questions. And again, we didn't even, the phrase informed consent wasn't even in our lexicon for some reason. I don't know. It wasn't bronchitis. It was something else, and I'll probably think about it an hour after the show. But, it was something. So when Eli was born, he was premature. His lungs were healthy enough to come home, but every year he would have this bout right around, what was it, like September, Nick? No, so right around December. See, that's why you guys, you need a gal. Like, details like that kind of. I forget the kid's birthday most of the time. What do I do? One number. Yeah. So instead of the 18th, I say the 17th. Did I say that correctly? Good deal. See, I remembered. RSP. What? That's what it was, Lynette. Thank you. See, and it was a female that brought that. Yeah, that's why we need them. It wasn't Croak. No, it was RSV, Lynette. But anyway, so this guy's a hero. Wanted to bring that to your attention. 1 year ago today, Pam Bondi actually did a good thing. And from the guy that has never said a nice thing about the Blondie, here's a nice thing. She dropped all the charges. He should have never been charged. Everyone that forced that vaccine on people, those guys should all be charged. All of them. They all knew. They were all in on it. And with that, we're going to go to a commercial break. And when I come back, we're going to get into something that may get me in a little trouble. I don't care. Yeah, you guys should know that. It's the beard. Probably a little bit of the elevated testosterone. But we're going to talk about the game that I see Republicans playing, and it's called electability. And it's a scam. It's a thing that I have seen. So before we go to break, do you notice how many Muslim women are getting elected? You know why? Because they focus group. Like these Muslim women, if you look at their public speaking records, if you look at their written records, their social media, they're saying all the same thing that the men are saying, and worse. But to the white, suburban, liberal woman, and sometimes even the suburban Republican, these people are electable. The men are not, but the women focus group better. And so they're pushing them. And what you're seeing is, across the country, a ton. In New York, up in New York, this week, like 3 of these extreme Muslim women beat out their Democrat incumbent in the primaries, the male incumbents. It's a trend. And I'm going to show you some parallels to that trend on the Republican side. We're being played. I'm going to be on a show, Due North Political Podcast, and I'm going to be talking to a political pundit. He's fairly famous. Covers Minnesota politics, and he's one of the elite Republicans that have been pushing Michelle Tafoya. I'm not one of those people. So we're going to have a conversation, to say the least. We're going to have a conversation. I'm just going to throw that out there. So, but anyway, when we get back, I'm going to talk a little bit about this scam that's being run on the American people called electability. Leon Francis, BlackBeardLogic, Guns in the 701. We'll be right back right after this break.
LAUER Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at LAUER Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with LAUER, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. LAUER Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at LAUER Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's LAUER Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right,
Go where lemons go.
Kalen's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalen and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just 1 block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemon. Kalen's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
For the best gun gear for every and any situation, Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
At Horton Laser Craft, we believe in the power of personalization. Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert craftsmen and state-of-the-art technology ensure every piece is a work of art. From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton Lasercraft makes every moment unforgettable. Horton Lasercraft is owned and operated by a local veteran and his wife located near Thunderhawk, South Dakota. They provide custom laser products at a reasonable price, and their turnaround time is fast and efficient.
Custom board cutting, glassware, decanter sets, mugs, assorted stainless steel jewelry, assorted tags, decor, custom acrylic nightlights, and much, much more.
Call them up at 605-545-7535. Horton Lasercraft, where memories are engraved.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Leon Francis, BlackBeardLogic, Guns, and the 701. We're back. We're going to talk about this dangerous game that the Republicans are playing. Democrats are playing it also, but it's called electability. I've heard this word so many times. So many times. Every political conversation that I've had here lately, especially around North Dakota politics, Minnesota politics, I keep hearing this word electability. It's a dangerous scam. And for decades, we've been sold this same consultant-driven scam. Hold your nose, vote for the most electable candidate. And in my humble opinion, this is how we keep ending up with these spineless, poll-tested placeholders. People who sound like warriors on the stump, but they melt like snowflakes the second they smell the DC air. The second they get invited to those dinner parties. They talk tough about draining the swamp. And then they spend the next 10 years swimming in it. The Democrats already drank this poison. And you see where it's led them. I mean, Muslims figured out how to game the system early. Americans have a legitimate apprehension about electing outspoken Muslim men who are very clear about their ideological commitments. So what did they do? I'll show you what they did. This is what they did. Boom. They started running their women. Same ideology, same agenda, different packaging. Throw a hijab on it. Keep the progressive branding. And suddenly they poll better with the suburban liberal and the activist base. Why do you think Democrat socialism, or the word socialism in 2010, even with the Democrats, they were like right around, I don't know, 40, 50%. Now it's 66, it's almost 70% polling now. They use the women. You look just this week, what's her name? That Muslim socialist, Dara Liza Avalia. She is that 32-year-old community organizer that Mondami stumped for. She just ousted 5-term Democrat incumbent Adriano. I can't pronounce his name in that New York district. And then there's that there's this chick here, Aberquaz, Palestinian American Democrat socialist and Mondami backer. She cruised to victory, and she's first Palestinian Muslim woman elected to. You should see her social media. Both of these chicks. And again, she beat the incumbent assemblyman. But this is what they do. I mean, oh, look at her. She wouldn't hurt a fly. She's not pulling the strings, though. She's the placeholder. Again, this has been a strategy, and it has been working. They're running the women. New York has been having a hell of a week. an opinion that the establishment Republicans are taking notes and they're stealing pages from the same playbook. They're not looking for fighters. They're looking for manageable faces, safe, sanitized, non-threatening to the donor class. I mean, just look locally. The machine wanted Fedoracek over Balaz. They got what they wanted. She's electable, they told us. Remember that? Remember that. Think about Michelle Tafoya over Royce White. Royce White is a beast. You know where he stands. He's 100% pro-America, 100% pro-Christian, 100% pro-life. Unapologetically a beast. And he also calls out the Washington elites and the Republican part. Can't have that. Can't have that. Non-threatening to the donor class is what they're looking for. They have nothing but contempt for Royce. They have that same contempt for anyone who refuses to be managed. They'd rather lose with a controllable moderate than win with an uncontrollable truth teller. Because control matters more to them than conservatism. There is a very ugly parallel here. And it should disturb every real conservative in this country. Because when you trade principle for electability, you don't move the ball forward. You surrender the damn field. You import the same identity politics that the left uses. Except now you're using it against your own most committed fighters. You're telling your base, we need your votes. We don't want your values. And that to me is not strategy. That is slow motion surrender dressed up as sophistication. I mean, Democrats are proving the point in real time. They're electable Muslim women candidates. They're wrapped in identity politics. They're wrapped up in socialism. They are unapologetically radical. And they are delivering upsets and knocking off the establishment, while the party's old guard is getting steamrolled. And now Republicans think that copying that tactic will save them. It won't. What it will do is accelerate the erosion. Because you got guys like me out here wondering how we're going to vote this election cycle, or if we're going to vote. And if I have another Republican elitist tell me, what, do you want the Democrats to win? Like, to me, that's not an argument. You told me when you paid for your guys who are going to get this data center crap in here, who are going to push everything that the big donor dollars tell them to push, they're going to push that. You told me when you rejected my voice, and I'm talking about North Dakota here, with our convention, when you guys told us to sit down and shut up, put your money up, and got your guys in there, when the base said, this is who we want, when the district chairs did their jobs, when the guys in the trenches did their jobs, when we said this is our slate of candidates, and the established Republicans in this state said, screw you, sit down, shut your mouth, we got this. So all of a sudden, because I don't like to be managed, all of a sudden, letting the Democrats take the reign doesn't seem like a bad thing. Maybe you guys need to sit a couple election cycles out. That's what you get a guy like me thinking. I'll just say this. We don't need another focus group suit who knows how to smile on camera and then screw us in private. We need statesmen with spines. We need people willing to say the uncomfortable things in uncomfortable rooms, regardless of the polls. Because if your ideology can only win when it's hidden behind a softer face, maybe your ideology is garbage and it's not strong enough to win at all. Electability without integrity is political prostitution with better marketing. And the Republican Party has been on the stroll for far too long. And I got news for you. Your base is waking up. We're tired of being managed. We're tired of being told that our best champions are unelectable, while the same establishment grifters lose election after election, and our country loses bits of its moral compass. Even when we win, we're still trending left. That's not a win for me. The Democrats are winning. The Democrats are winning. This country, if you notice, we're not trending right. Again, the whole COVID era, the whole tranny era, the whole LGBTQ era, the whole beat up on parents era, the whole beat up on religion, all of these things, the whole erosion of the Second Amendment, of the First Amendment, all of that is not winning. That's going left. And we're tired of playing that game. It's time to change the rules or admit that Republicans aren't interested in conservatism. All they're interested in is access to power, same as the Democrats. And with that being said, I think we're going to go to our Feel Good Friday to round out the night. I've ranted and raved long enough. I see my wife in there, telling me to calm down. So I'm going to calm down, but I'm not going to like it. I'm going to stop talking. But when she leaves, I'm going to talk again. 2 movies to reference: Escape from New York and Escape from LA. Yeah, right. If someone controls you, you are the slave because 100%. The long game is to act nice and innocent, and then they act like, yeah, you're right. You're again, I left this picture up. These are the Justice Democrats. They're like the Justice League or something. What do you notice? You have 2 beta males there. Couldn't fight their way out of a wet paper bag. You remember Mondami tried to do the bench press. It had to have help. I think they were like 35-pound plates, 45-pound bar, or something like that, and he couldn't. Yeah, that's these. They're non-assuming. They if it was a mom with a long beard and he was people would be like, oh hell no. So you put these women up, yeah. Anyway, So, when we come back after this break, we're going to go into a Feel Good Friday segment that I think you'll all enjoy. We'll be right back right after this.
LAUER Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at LAUER Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with LAUER, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake.
Make no mistake.
LAUER Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at LAUER Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's LAUER Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right,
Go where lemons go.
Kalen's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalen and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just one block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemon. Kalen's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
For the best gun gear for every and any situation, Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul's, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
At Horton Laser Craft, we believe in the power of personalization. Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert craftsmen and state-of-the-art technology ensure every piece is a work of art. From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton Lasercraft makes every moment unforgettable. Horton Lasercraft is owned and operated by a local veteran and his wife located near Thunderhawk, South Dakota. They provide custom laser products at a reasonable price, and their turnaround time is fast and efficient.
Custom board cutting, glassware, decanter sets, mugs, assorted stainless steel jewelry, assorted tags, decor, custom acrylic nightlights, and much, much more.
Call them up at 605-545-7535. Horton Lasercraft, where memories are engraved.
So, welcome back to this segment that I like to call Feel Good Friday. So, every once in a while, a headline just slaps you across the face and reminds you that not every man in this country has been turned into a soy-sipping, compliance-loving, turn the other cheek until they're all dead eunuch. So, I want you guys to watch this. This is Pastor Tony Spell of Life Tabernacle Church in Louisiana. I think he's out of Monroe, Louisiana. And this guy, he apparently still remembers what the word husband, father, and shepherd actually means in the biblical sense of the word. Like, so he's working on the church bus. He's doing honest labor for the house of God. And this neighbor's son decides that this is the perfect moment just to run his mouth. And he doesn't just insult the pastor. And Mike Tyson said something that's 100% true. He says that, and I'm paraphrasing, and I'm doing it badly, but basically, people would be a lot nicer if after they insulted you, they got punched in the mouth, something to that effect. Uh, and I have that same ideology. An armed society is a polite society. And you can tell this soy boy here had for far too long. One, he probably never got a spanking in his life. He's like 20 some odd years old, and he's out there saying just the most god awful things to this pastor. And I get it. Like, he's a pastor, yes, but a man can only take so much. And then there are certain things you say to a man. I don't care if he's the Pope. Things need to happen. I'm not going to say what this guy said. Well, I may get into it on the other side of this video. I just want you to watch this video here. Here we go. Look at him. Took a swing, took another one, took another one, took another one. I'm sorry. I love seeing this. I must have played this thing 100 times. Through the phone. Look at those little soy boy legs kicking. Right there, right there. I think there was some divine intervention. He got pulled back. Hey. Lead hand. I love that right there. He says, here, I'm going to go back. I fulfilled the scripture. I laid hands on the sick. Good God, I love that so much. Justin, you're right. And my wife and I talked about this. So Justin says, remember, when it comes to protecting the church, even Jesus is not above flipping tables and whipping people. Now, just so we're clear, Jesus didn't just flip tables and whip people. Jesus was so PO'd that he made a whip. Do you understand how mad you have to be to see a thing happening and it angers you so much you go, hold on a second, and you rip your shirt off and you make a whip out. I mean, Jesus made a whip to whip these idiots. So, yeah, I get your point, man. Warms my heart. I'm just going to say it. If you tell a guy, I'm going to rape your wife, I'm going to rape all of your grandkids, the next time you go out of town, I'm going to kill him. What the F are you going to do about it? Let that sink in. This man threatened the rape and the murder of another man's wife and grandbabies to his face. And people are pearl clutching because he did what the good pastor did what any self-respecting, God-fearing, image-bearing male with a spine would do. He laid hands on the situation. And not in some vague way, real hands, righteous hands, protector hands. The same God, the same hands that God gave David before he dropped Goliath. The same instinct that made Nehemiah rebuild the wall with a sword in one hand and a trowel in the other. Like the same protective fury that caused Jesus Christ himself to drive the money changers out of the temple with a whip that he made with his bare. Like, Jesus wasn't walking around with a whip, like, hey, talking to the disciples with the whip on his. No. Like, it, in my humble opinion, and some of you guys might differ on this, but I don't see this as violence. It's called being a natural guardian of your household and your flock. I mean, Ephesians 5 doesn't say love your wife as Christ loved the church, but make sure you call the authorities first, while the threat is actively describing how he's going to violate your family. Doesn't say that. I mean, the Bible calls men to stand in the gap, not to outsource their God-given duty to a 911 operator who may or may not show up while the evil is being done. Now, of course, the usual suspects are melting down. The Sherwin family is claiming that the pastor is lying. Funny how that works. The same folks who, according to the pastor's attorney and church members, had an industrial strength surveillance camera pointed straight into the church pulpit. And the reason they did that is because during the COVID lockdowns, they were reporting the pastor, the good, bad. And this just makes me love this pastor even more, because he didn't close his church during COVID. He was like, if Walmart can be open, if the casinos can be open, if the bars can be open, the house of God can be open. Can I get an amen? And that's what he did. And these are the busybodies, the liberals, the folks with the mask and all of the things. They were like, well, we're going to get him. And they installed this camera so they could see how many people were in there and then report him. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. They wanted this man in jail for preaching the gospel during the pandemic. And all of a sudden, they're very concerned about assault when he refuses to let his family be turned into prey. Let me say this very plainly. If a man threatens to do this and to murder your wife and your grandkids, and you have the ability to stop him right then and there, you better do it. Because if you don't, and something happens, oof. This good pastor, he's not the villain here. He's a throwback. He's a reminder that Christianity doesn't produce nice, compliant, weak beta men who apologize for existing. It produces men who love their families enough to bleed for them, to fight for them, and yes, when necessary, put down threats. And that's all this good pastor did, in my humble opinion, and it made my week. The real scandal here, it's not that the pastor defended his people. The scandal is how many so-called Christian men today would have filmed it for social media clout instead of stepping in and helping him out. How many would have hidden behind, turned the other cheek while evil had his way with his household? This is why, in my humble opinion, the gates of hell will not prevail against the church. Because we're not all polished and polite. Again, Clay is one of the most religious, Christian-minded people I know. I would not want to, I can't imagine what Clay would do or Jamie or Axe or Dan or any of the guy. I couldn't imagine the hell that would be unleashed if some liberal said this stuff to their face. So, in my opinion, it's righteous anger in the defense of the innocent. That's it. So this is my message to every guy listening. Be kind. Be the kind of man your wife and your kids run to when the wolves show up. Not the kind who calls a meeting to discuss feelings. Not the guy that calls 911. Not the guy that's running around, away with his phone to his ear. 911. There's a guy here who says he's got. No. Be a Pastor Tony. Be a guy that the wolves are afraid to approach. Yep, Dan, I'm right there with you, man. So this good pastor should have the support of every real Christian man that's left in this country who hasn't traded his backbone for a seat at the cool kids table. We got to stand, and we got to keep standing, because the same God that shut the lion's mouth is still on the throne. What's going on? Who? Okay, I guess my kid and his pup are out there catching ground squirrels. Oh my God. No, that's a rabbit. Oh my God. Throw it in the trap. We'll skin it later. Jesus. Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to say. This is what happens. This is what happens when you live in the country and you got a 8-year-old with more testosterone than that guy getting mollywopped on the ground. Every now and then, they'll bring you some vegetables. And I guess my son just caught a rabbit out there, and he was all happy about it. How did he catch it? Oh, okay. All right. Hey, don't touch that trap. I'll be out there. Yep. I'm sorry, guys. This is. I'm a bit of a coon ass. I'm a bit of a hick, and things like that just makes me happy. Like, anyway, this has been BlackBeardLogic, Guns in the 701. Check out all the other shows. Check out Vance Bishop, Sportsman Sunday. Check out Clay. I don't know what the K-Fire thing is doing, because I heard that K-Fire it has like pulled some shows. So I don't know what that's doing. I'm going to figure that out. But right now, I got to go teach my son how to skin a rabbit. So, love you guys. God bless. Good night.